Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back in my BMW 330e. I feel like I've done quite a few videos on this recently. Most recently was the 5 things that I love most about it. So, you know, in the aid of being fair and giving a balanced review, I thought it's about time we talked about the bad things. So, yeah, here are 5 things I really don't like about my 330e. I'm trying to do a sad face or angry face here. Is that the thumbnail? Maybe. Anyway, let's get into it. So, in no particular order, things I hate. That is a prime example. Oh my god, this was on the list as well. By no means planned. The BMW Presense, you know, as much as technology like this is fantastic, and you know, when you compare to what probably our parents drove, you know, these things are life-saving. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just my car, the Presense on this, I don't think it's actually even called Presense. What's it called? Because Audi's is called Presense. What's it called? Intelligent safety. Yeah, the BMW intelligent safety system is so sensitive. I don't know if I've annoyed it, but good God, it honestly, I think in one of my previous videos where I was doing the 12-month ownership review, it had a little sort of mare, but yeah, I've tried toning down the strength of it, because you can configure it all in sort of individual modes and whatever. Yeah, no matter what I've done, it is still a bit of a sensitive Sally. So, yeah, just be warned about that. It's not crazy, like, by any means. Funnily enough, I had an Audi A1 on test a while ago, the current shape one, and a plastic bag flew in front of the car. I wasn't going that fast, it was sort of 20-mile-an-hour zone. Obviously thought it was a child or something, and it just slammed the brakes on and scared the absolute shite out of me. It's by no means like that, but in some cases you'll think it's going to react and it doesn't. But then for the most minor things like this, to give you a bit more context to what just happened, there's a car in front of me, and in front of that there is a lorry, so we're not going that fast because the car in front stuck behind, but I'm probably 3, 4, nearly 5 car lengths ahead of it because it's wet and I'm not an idiot. And we were going down a hill and he had his brake lights just pop on, didn't slam on, and this thing goes wild. So yeah, it's just a bit hit and miss and can be oversensitive. So if you hate your car interfering with your driving and you want a more sort of manual neutral style, then this might not be the car for you. It's obviously not just the 330e, I'm assuming it's the 3 Series overall, or it could just be my car and I've got a Duff one, but I don't think so. So yeah, you've been warned. I mean, talk about perfect timing. Yeah, that was really good. So that was number 1. What else do I hate? It's not a huge list, and I think you'll gauge from what I've chosen, apart from 1 or 2 things, that I'm kind of scraping the barrel a little bit, because overall it's still a very good car. Ooh, sorry, saw a 996 that looked very much like mine. I would say I'll need to check the garage when I'm home, but I think it's too ill to come outside and play at the moment. Sorry. What else is there? Seats, I've mentioned these in the things that I love, and you know, the overall seat is really good, but BMW are just a little bit stingy compared to the competitors. You know, this car new was near 45k and it's still got manual seats and no lumbar support. I just feel like it's a little bit stingy. You know, I think for the money, you should at least get lumbar support. And electric seats aren't the end of the world, but again, just for something that costs this much and is an overall quite a premium product everywhere else, I just feel like, you know, just stop saving the pennies and be a bit nicer to your customers. The only thing to add against that is you do have these sort of side bolsters that inflate, and they work really well for me. You know, they keep me hugged in, and they're really adjustable. They go quite far down and flat, and they do raise up quite big as well. So there's a lot of adjustment there, you know, whatever body size you are. But yeah, overall, bit stingy BMW. Bad. So that's seats. What else have we got interior-wise? As well as the front seats, there is a problem with the rear seats, and I thought I was the only one that's mentioned this, but recently I watched Matt Watson of CarWow's video on I think it's the M3, I think it's the M3 Touring actually, and like me, he mentions that when you have a car seat in the back, and you've got a little one in it, these are the sort of rear-facing car seats. I think it's due to the lip of the seat and the way it's sort of almost on a bit of an angle. There's countless times where my little one's been in the back, and I've looked in the mirror, and they're just like this, sort of neck craned over, because naturally the head wants to move that way due to the angle of the seat. So that's not really ideal, especially when you've got a young baby. And it happens a lot to the point where I kind of have to sort of, awkwardly scramble to move the head gently back. But as soon as you go up any elevation, it's back to, trying to kiss their knees or something. So yeah, it's probably quite a minor thing for most people, and everyone doesn't have kids, but if you do and you have a newborn, maybe look at something else, because it just worries me. I could be overreacting, but it just seems quite odd that that happens a lot. It doesn't happen in any other car that I've used so far, and I've used quite a lot since I've had a baby. So yeah, something just to be mindful of. So that's seats. 2 bad points for seats. What else have we got? Infotainment system. It's an overall fantastic infotainment system, but for some reason when I use Apple CarPlay, if I start up the car from, cold and I'm going out on a journey, and then I get out of the car and don't let it rest for too long, and the ECU/computers don't turn off and have a snooze, I'll get back in and my phone's still connected, but the entertainment source and everything isn't visible on my digital dash. I know, absolute first world problems, but it is quite annoying because I have to go into the system on CarPlay to select my podcast or song or whatever I'm doing, rather than just being able to, change it on the steering wheel on the fly and actually see what's on. Again, I've checked this with a few people who've got these and they have the exact same issue. So BMW definitely know about it, and there's not been a patch yet. Again, it's not a deal breaker by any means, but it's just one of those annoying things because overall the infotainment system is really, really good. So yeah, a bit frustrating on that one. So that's 4 things we've covered so far. So we've got weird intelligent safety system. I'm just going to call it pre-sense. It makes so much more sense. Seats, front and rear problems, or not problems, annoyances, and then infotainment system. So what's my last one? Number 5. Probably won't affect most people, but it is quite an annoying thing for me, and I knew it going in. My eyes were totally wide open to this issue, this feature of the car, and it's the boot. The boot in the 3 Series standard, the 320i or 320d, whatever, isn't that big to begin with. And in the 330e, it's even more compromised due to the location of the battery packs because they are in the boot. So I guess one benefit to it actually is that when you open the boot, there is no load lip at all. It's completely flat, and you can just chuck things across the rail into the back of the boot. There's also this weird flap that sort of goes down, and you can kind of put a few things at a lower level, and shopping, it's useful for that. But in respect to storage capacity and bigger items, it's a right pain. Mentioned it a few times on this channel. We still have it, but we've moved on to the pushchair now. We had a massive pram. I don't know why they need to be this big, but salesman told me they do, so I got absolutely fleeced. When you have a massive pram, or any other large items you want to carry, such as maybe bits of a bike or something, the depth is not good enough for most of these things. I regularly have to cram the pram, and have done in the past, almost to the point where it's probably close to breaking or scratching the boot, just to squeeze it in, because it is not very deep. So if you're a family man or woman, or you just like loading large items into your boot, just be mindful with this that the standard capacity on this is quite limiting. You can obviously day to day it's still very good, but for those off times you need to carry large items, you are quite limited just of how shallow it is. So yeah, just be mindful of that. So as I said at the start of this video, the pros definitely by far and away outweigh the cons of this car. No car is perfect, but if I'm really being honest, in recent cars I've had, this is probably as close to, I guess, saloon perfection you can get right now. I know they've updated the infotainment system and there is a facelift of this now, but for me this is the Goldilocks level of the 3 Series. So this ran from I think 2019 to about late 2022, maybe early 23. And in my opinion, it's the one to have. So save yourself a shed load of money and get this one rather than the new one. So there you have it, guys. That's kind of what I hate about this car. And it's, quite small, isn't it? But I could probably really be nitpicky and pick out a few other things, but for me, they're just not that important. I think the key annoyances, which, I feel like I've scraped the barrel a little bit with these, aren't actually that bad. So I'd be interested to know what you guys actually think. If you do have one of these and you're watching this just because you like watching videos about the cars you own and seeing what people think of them, do let me know if there's anything else that I've missed, because I'd also like to know myself. Yeah, I think that's it. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do give that button a little slap. Yeah, give it a little slap for me. It really does help the channel because we're still quite small right now. And yeah, look, if there's anything else you want to see on this car or anything else you want to see from the channel, do also let me know as well. You know, I respond to comments all the time, and I'm also quite quick to respond. Not that I have nothing else to do. My little one takes up most of my life these days, but always happy to engage. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.